Do you talk to yourself? This is one of the questions that I've been asking all week long, and I'm really excited to be here with you guys today. My apologies for the delay on the IGTV. I honestly think I may move our tip of the week to Fridays because that's honestly just an easier day for me to record, let's be honest. Things are getting different, they're changing, right? And as business changes, as you gain new clients, it's important to be flexible and be able to ebb and flow with the new systems, right? So I think we may start moving the IGTV to Fridays. Let me know what you guys think about that. So do you guys talk to yourselves? I want to know. I want you to leave me a comment below if you do or if you don't. I really am just super interested. I talk to myself all the time. Could totally be an only child thing. I even feel like I talk to myself in my head a lot, right? So even if it's not fully out loud, if you guys check out my story today, a lot of the times during meditation, talking to yourself is so important. And this is not really in the podcast episode this week, but this is a topic that I'm thinking about expanding on even more as we move through with the end in mind, because I think it's so important to talk to yourself. I think it's really important that we all voice our own opinions on being our own coaches. In this world of coaching and constantly seeing, new coaches come about for all of these different specific industries, don't get me wrong, right? There's always a time to hire a coach, especially when you are feeling blocked, stuck, you need support, and you need some guidance, right? But I think the important key part here is that you are the only one that can decide if you need a coach. And you are only going to figure out if you need a coach if you start looking inside, right? Asking yourself the right questions, talking to yourself a little bit. A lot of the times during meditation, I'll ask myself, maybe something really big is coming up with a client or in my personal life, and I feel, maybe I'm struggling with it, I'm bogged down by it, and I'll ask myself during meditation, how can I alleviate this stress currently, right? Because a lot of the times in business and in life, we are under constant stress for no reason. And this just comes from society, from life, right? A little bit of evolution probably thrown in there if that's something that you believe in, which I definitely do, and that's just from my background, how I was raised, and whatever, right? It's just all about how we're talking to ourselves, and as we move through these next few years, because it's probably going to look really different in these next few years. All of our lives have changed so much already, and being aware of that the change is still coming. So allowing yourself to be your biggest coach, stand up for you, preach to yourself that you're a badass, right? It's hard to do. This was something that took me years. Like we're almost 3 years into Meraki, and I've been working on this stuff for way longer before that. I would definitely say it started in college, when I just was feeling super stressed out by work and everything else, and I had to start being my own biggest coach. I remember when I first was given the campaign for the local nonprofit that I took an Instagram following from 18,000 followers to 500,000 followers in under a month. And when I got that job, I went home and cried in my boyfriend's bed for 3 hours because I truthfully didn't believe that I had the knowledge, I had the wherewithal, I was strong enough or smart enough to guide a whole fundraising campaign. I could have totally stayed in that state. That's what I want you guys to know. With this week's podcast episode, I'm sharing all of these feelings, all of these emotions. I could have stayed in that bed. I could have cried my way through the campaign, right? And probably not put in as much effort. But after I let myself feel those emotions, cried it out for 3 hours, sometimes we have to do that. Then I said to myself, if I can make this happen, How will I feel after? What could come after if I can make this happen? You know, if I can reach this fundraising goal, how much could this change my life? And that was the question I started asking myself. And that's when I started hitting the Google, searching the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. That's really where it all started. And then I went into work the next day. I brought this new idea. We launched the giveaway that day, and their Instagram following grew by over 450,000 people in under a month. We raised a significant amount of funds. I mean, I'm talking close to $100,000 for this nonprofit. Really powerful. And it all came down to this self-talk. So I want to know, do you guys talk to yourselves? See you next week.